Imagine you're 45 and you've just been sent to an internship for 1 week to just clean forks, nothing more. And now imagine you're even bad at that. Now what kind of a guy would you be? Meet Richie.
But my license is expired. Fuck that.
How does the bear manage to make this guy's journey of cleaning forks into a 10 out of 10 television experience? I want to break down something about storytelling in general, so you get a bit of context, and then I want to break down the acting, especially how our main guy, moss-bachrach, utilizes active listening. If you're new here, look alive, team. You see that little button? Let's go subscribe. Oh, help me get to 1,000. Thank you guys. Let's go. Okay, Storytelling 101. What are stories for? This may sound like a little detour, but hang on here for a second, this will all make sense. You could come from a lot of angles, but let me come from this one. Stories are there to help us navigate life. We learn by proxy, because if we only had our own experience, we would learn the hard way most of the time. So we learn by other people giving us examples. First, it's just like stories that they tell because they experience it. Like, hey, I went hiking and it was pretty rough. I fell pretty hard. You gotta watch out when you go there. So when I go there, I don't need to make the same mistakes. Eventually, stories become fictional and more complex to go deeper into the human experience. They let us learn something, live through something without actually having the real cost of experience it. There's certain stories that are very, very powerful, that speak to our hearts. There's, for example, reunion stories. That's why I know you all seen those videos when you watch soldiers coming home from deployment and you see them reunite with their wife, with their kids, with their dog even. Then you see the ultimate joy of reunion. Like, you know, what you feel a sense of heartwarming joy, you may cry, you may get goosebumps. That's a kind of feeling when you're moved by love. There's actually a word in Sanskrit, weirdly enough, meaning moved by love, and it's called kamamuta. Who gives a fuck? Okay, that's sciencey bullshit, you fucking nerd. Go skip that fucking section, you freaking
Incel, QAnon, 4chan, Snyder Cut, motherfuckers.
And the second story that is very powerful in giving you this feeling is the redemption story. This is more what we have here with forks. It's when something that is wrong is made right, and we feel a sense of pride or happiness when we see people going through something and coming out better at the other side. That's why we all get goosebumps when someone redeems himself. This is what we get with Richie here. Okay, but the question now is, how is that redemption portrayed? Because if you just talk about it, it's not very strong. How does it move your heart so your mind will open?
Open heart, open mind.
That's the purpose of storytelling. Otherwise, you could just learn it in university. Let's start with the mission. This episode starts with a quote of Coach K.
Learn how to listen. You're not going to learn with you just talking. And when you do talk, converse. Don't make excuses.
Richie was always talking. He was never listening. He was always making excuses. He is a useless loser.
I'm wasting potential. What kind of potential?
Always talking at people, never listening, at the wrong time, wrong place. But at least you see, he is very eager to converse. He just doesn't know how to do it yet. This is why this arc is gonna make sense. Let's see the first conversation between Garrett and him. You see how he listens? He scoffs at him, he doesn't really look at him, he's rolling his eyes. He's not listening at all. Obviously, it's kind of because he thinks he's not worth it. He doesn't believe in himself. And it's pretty embarrassing that he needs to clean forks, even though he's 45. But he knows that he apparently needs it. Now let's see the second conversation, where he gets the tough talk from Garrett, where he's a bit like stunned. He's still like, there's the first question.
You really drank this Kool-Aid, huh?
He's kind of still putting it down, condescending towards like being such a nerd that you like fine dining and cleaning forks, what a dork, but he's still asking. And then he gets the answer, which is pretty surprising to him.
I love this so much.
And he's stunned by it. And then he says like,
I can do respect.
So first time he's actually kind of listening, still very reserved and more like out of shame he's admitting it, but he's coming there. Third thing, when the manager talks about how the evening is going, who the guests are. There he's like stoic. He's listening for the first time. He's clearly listening. He's kind of shocked how somebody would go so far and beyond for people. But the thing they do very well here is they establish that there's not only these pretentious assholes that go dining in a 3-star Michelin restaurant. There are teachers, like working people who really save up their money to experience this shit one time. And then these guys, they want to make their fucking day. They want to blow their minds.
I want to blow their fucking minds.
By not giving them checks, by giving them every tour and everything. And Richie's like, whoa, they're for real. And they're not only pretentious assholes that do stuff for rich people. Now the next scene with the girl. He's listening and he wants to learn. He's very eager now. He's starting to drink the Kool-Aid, so to speak. But the thing is, he's not really conversing. He's overbearing in his questions and he's really eager to learn, which is good. But at the same time, he's the aggressor here. In an intrigued way, but he's the aggressor. The girl, she just allows it because wrong time right now. Wrong time, wrong place. But she can manage because she's so good.
I need you to stand in that corner and get the fuck out of my way for 1 minute.
And still there's a lot of his, like I call it facade. The swearing, the joking.
Wiretap those motherfuckers.
But not necessarily bad, but it's not a real conversation, like free-flowing, natural conversation. And then we get a break from the whole listening and conversing part, and now he gets into action. It's very beautifully done that they get this deep dish pizza experience for the guys, and Richie is actually able to connect fine dining with his beloved Chicago heritage. They don't say it in the show explicitly, but I think he picked the place.
One of my personal favorite dishes, Pequod's deep dish. No.
Like he's going like, this is the best place for deep dish. He's getting it and he's presenting it, and it fills him with pride because now he is not thinking about himself and stuff. He's thinking about the guests and giving them something from his heart because it's his Chicago.
Manja, baby.
And he wants them to have it. It's beautifully done. And he finds his place. And you see, this is where he's good at. He has the talent. He is interesting. He just needs to stop being so defensive all the time. So now, after all this uplifting, we get to the Great Dip. The Great Depression.
You're the fucking jack-off.
He is falling back into his old habits. It doesn't work. He can't do it. And this is the thing. This episode is basically like a huge training montage. And we have to find out, in a good story, we always find out, despite all the training where you give up so much, still, when the ultimate fight comes, you will find out that this wasn't even enough. You still have to go deeper. You still have to find something in yourself that training couldn't prepare you for. Like when in Karate Kid, the guy has a broken leg. Like no training is gonna prepare you for that. You can't break your legs. He will need to go to a place that he didn't know existed. And this is the same with Richie here. Only it's internal now. It's an internal struggle, which is sometimes the hardest to overcome. He faces his old demons. Now the internship is gone. Now I will be back in my old habits. It will just all be for nothing. I won't be worth it because I'm not in the support system anymore. And then in this lowest moment where he has this choice, do I really redeem myself? Now he finds the Chef Terry, played beautifully by Olivia Colman. Now this is the most complete form of listening and of conversing in an actual way. They're having such a simple conversation, and the bear does that more than once. They do it while completing a mundane but still important task, like a handy task where you're like almost meditative.
Simple pleasure from the execution of a task well done.
That's where they talk. And now you see how Eben Moss-Bachrach plays this one part that I want to highlight to show you what I mean when I say this is the most complete form of listening. Now he finds out that this chef, highly regarded, also failed miserably.
Walking all night, unemployed, angry, depressed.
And she tells him the story that she basically found this sign and had a second chance. And he just says in one comment like, you mean like a second chance kind of thing? And she says, yes, exactly.
Never too late to start over.
And then he plays this little beat where he's like, which is of course him thinking about himself, kinda like, do I get a second chance then maybe as well? Do we all get a second chance? And then he has this little oh, where did you get the money for the whole thing? And this is such a nice beat because it's hidden in the script. It's him asking about her again, but now it's a question that is not of use for himself, because before he could use the information like, can I get a second chance? What is your story? Can I get a second chance? And then he's like thinking, brooding about it, like, second chances, but no, I want to know what happened to you.
How'd you get the money to open?
He really wants to know about her, because where the money is coming from for her restaurant is not relevant to him and his being able to having second chances. So it's a pure investigative or inquisitive ask. He's just interested in her. He's not doing it for himself. And funnily enough, when you stop caring about gaining yourself and are interested in listening to others, that's when you will gain. And this is what Coach K says. Learn to listen. You will learn from others, but only if you really care for them. This is of course what he needs to go through, and he's only open to it now that he's been so built up and torn down again. And then we resolve, of course, with knowing every second counts. And this is the face of a man who knows that he has a chance to redeem himself, and we are eager to find out, will he do it? Well guys, you've made it to the end. I'm very thankful for that. So you who are really invested and watch, please go subscribe, and I hope I see you in the next one.